hostage question is critical, Dr. Wael Awad, because even when I asked this to the Palestinian ambassador, he wasn't willing to give a commitment on what happens to the hostages. And therefore, while India is out there at the moment providing humanitarian aid, the Palestinians' moral high ground will not exist if the hostages are killed. If the hostages are killed, including some American citizens, that will also lead to anger and outrage again. So do you believe that that is the very minimal that will have to be done to try and de-escalate this conflict?
Well, the minimum can be done at the moment is cessation of all hostilities, because there is already more than 14 of the hostages have died because of the Israeli bombardment. And in fact, Hamas have also offered 2 free out of no conditions, more hostages to release, but they were refused by the Israeli government. So I don't see the hostages issue is seriously avoiding our
no, but Dr. Awad, there are 222 hostages according to the Israeli Defense Force at the moment with Hamas. Unless they are released, even in batches, how do you then expect countries like India to play a role in promoting Palestinian interests? For a large part of the world, there is no distinction between Palestine and Hamas.
Rajdeep, I think we must all understand that India is not a colonized society culture. India is a civilized country and understand the depth of the problem in Palestine after I'm listening to 2 distinguished guests at your panel, and I understand the position of India consistently have been supporting justice and freedom for the Palestinian, a 2-state solution. It's nothing new to that. What I'm trying to say here, what for the last 75 years, we have been seeing Israel attacking the Palestinians, uprooting their villages, kicked out 750,000 Palestinians in 1948, and have taken all their territories. Now, the Palestinians, what they have done, they have changed the paradigm of the game. They have twisted. This time they attacked inside their occupied territories inside Israel. So they have taken hostages, and there are 10,000 hostages of a Palestinian inside Israel jail, lavishing there. There are people who, according to Human Rights Watch, according to RISC, ask any agency in the world, they tell you there are more than 2,000 people there. For decades they are there. There is no law why they have been detained. No advocate can go. Every Palestinian will tell you. I'm not here to defending Hamas or defend anybody. I'm just trying to say here that hostages have been used in wars because they wanted to exchange. They have been doing it.
Right.
Israel attacked Hamas, attacked Gaza Strip 5 times. This is the 6th time. It's nothing new. I mean, I covered the region extensively. I interviewed Arafat. I interviewed Mahmoud Abbas. I asked them when Netanyahu was in power. They never expected anything from him. Rabin, Prime Minister of Israel, was killed because he killed the Oslo Agreement, Netanyahu, and his right-wing supporter killed Rabin. His wife, widower of Rabin, she said it on TV of the Israelis. How you want to tell me that this kind of government is seriously willing to have a peace with the Palestinians?
Okay.
They are obliterating Palestine. Even your aid or rest of the world aid will not reach because there will be no Palestinian left to survive on the genocide in a concentration camp they have created for them.
You know, Kanwal Sibal, I've been playing through the show also over the years how India's stand has changed. When Jawaharlal Nehru, and I'll look at that, when Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister of India, he was very clear that India needed to stand by Palestine. It became a human rights issue. It was seen in a way as one of the fallouts of colonialism. The RSS and the BJP over the years stood by Israel. By 1992, we have Narasimha Rao becoming Prime Minister. India recognizes Israel. Before that, Indira Gandhi, very close to Arafat, India becomes the first country to officially recognize the PLO at the time. An embassy office was set up here in 1980. And now we have Prime Minister Modi, who is seen to have built a strong relationship with Mr. Netanyahu. Can India really play any kind of a mediatory role? The Prime Minister is ringing up Amman, he's ringing up other Arab capitals. On the Arab street, does India carry any weight anymore? Or is there a fear that we have to balance the concerns of the Arab street and the fact that we've got strong relations with Saudi Arabia and UAE with what's happening in Israel?
Look at the situation realistically. When India was fully supporting the PLO and Yasser Arafat, were we able to resolve the Palestinian question? Not at all. In fact, Arafat chose to go to the West and sign the Oslo Accords and left out altogether the non-aligned movement. We put all his eggs in the Western basket. The point is that India alone cannot do anything very much because big powers are involved. The United Nations, look at the helplessness of the United Nations, look at the helplessness of the UN Secretary General. What has happened to him? He's standing at the Rafah border, over supervising the flow of trucks into Gaza. Is this the role of the UN Secretary General? The United States is a very critical player, even though their power has diminished in this region. They're being challenged by Russia as well as China even more so. These are the countries, the powers that have to play a significant, important, critical role in bringing the two sides together. The United States has walked away from the two-state solution. They opened their embassy in Jerusalem. They seized all assistance to the Palestinian Authority. And when it comes to the Arab world, look, Saudi, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, they have recognized Israel. Saudi Arabia was on the point of recognizing Israel. We had ITU2, the India, Middle East, Europe corridor. So what role has the principal Arab states, the Gulf states, played in the Palestinian question? So why the burden on India when the Arab countries themselves were very keen to normalize with Israel?
Good point. The Arab world seems at least privately split. Publicly, they may all have united today on the Palestinian issue. Privately, there are divisions between the more moderate states and the more radicalized states. How does India navigate what is a very difficult situation? Should India just stay out and keep providing humanitarian aid but do little beyond that at the moment? Is that the best way out?
No, you keep your channels open to both sides. Prime Minister's today, I believe, spoken to King Abdullah. So we have a certain degree of credibility in the region. But yes, Mrs. Sybil is absolutely correct that we don't have the ability to play the role of an active peacemaker. And secondly, do remember that in 1967, the Arab-Israeli War, that is when Israel occupied all this area, West Bank and so on and so forth, there was no peace possible till 1973. Even Kissinger didn't step in. Only when the Egyptians were able to cross the bar-left line and inflict some damage on Israel, then Kissinger realized that when two guys are fighting, there's a point at which you cannot intervene. Israel will get their revenge. At this moment, they are not going to listen. At best, the Americans can calibrate it. They can delay them. They can get the civilians out of the way. They can keep Hezbollah out so that it doesn't spin out of control. They can threaten Iran that Iran doesn't actively come in. They can allow Israel to bomb the airports of Syria so that military help doesn't come in. So they're isolating and saving the civilians. But they will give probably Israel 1 or 2 weeks to go in and try to kill as many so-called Hamas leaders as they can. But then after that, even America cannot support them because the civilians start getting killed and too much blood is spilled. Then they'll be able to reel them back. But at the moment, I think even the conservative Arab countries would like to get rid of Hamas. So they would like Israelis to go in and at least decapitate them.
Can I therefore take that to Dr. Awad in conclusion? Do you believe that the Arab world wants Hamas to be strengthened? Or is there a distinction between leadership and the Arab street? Leaderships are skeptical or even fearful of Hamas. The Arab street is treating them as liberators. Is that the worry also?
It's not a worry because every Palestinian who is defending his land, he has the right according to UN Charter. That is for sure. But
he does not have the right to kill innocent Israeli civilians in the process.
No. Any civilian kills, any killing of a human being. Remember, Genesis said, if you cannot create, you cannot kill. Let us be more practical on this. What I'm trying to say is, Rajiv, I think you should put in the highlight in your next program, it is not Hamas which they are after. It is Hezbollah in Lebanon. It is Iran which they are after. The American is finding their warships in the Mediterranean. They are already filled islands in Greece with the warships. Israel having F-16, F-15, F-35. They are bombing, they are killing. They wanted to provoke the street of the Arab so they can pressurize their government to participate in a war where Israel can expand and create a greater Israel from Euphrates to Nile. Remember, if you go to the Knesset of the Israelis, you will see at the gate of the Knesset, they have said the border of Israel is from Euphrates from Euphrates to Nile. So if that is the aim and objective, it's become a fight of extensionists, either we or you.
Okay.
Unless and until we have a two-state solution, there is no question of peace in the Middle East.
Okay, let me leave it there. I appreciate all my guests joining us on our top talking point. It is a tough situation which India in particular will have to navigate with caution in the weeks ahead.